This is Go-MMT Radio.
Go-MMT Radio. Let's go.
Powered by Make My Trip, Go IBBO and Redbus.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Go-MMT Radio. My name is Sonu. 19th of July is World Product Day. Products are one of the main aspects of businesses everywhere that helps keep people moving and the economy growing. However, how products are developed and how resources are used can be tricky. And it takes a while to understand, especially in global context. So, आज World Product Day के दिन we are going to have Ankit Khanna with us, who is the Chief Product Officer, Strategic Initiative and New Business. He's of course part of the leadership team. He's going to join us in a little while from now, where we will be talking a lot about product designing and everything to do with the products that are a part of Go-MMT. That's happening on the other end. So kahin mat jaiye, sunte rahiye Go-MMT Radio. And yes, I might have forgotten about something that we all are excited about, and that is the town hall meet. It's going to happen this Friday. That's the D-Day, and it's happening at A. Ambience Island, Gurgaon. Parking is available and return cabs will be provided for women who are leaving after 8 p.m. It's a single-use plastic-free event, and the dress code is red and black with a hint of shimmer. There's going to be a lot of things, music, dance, fashion show, all of it. And of course, we have the awards night as well. It starts at 3:30 p.m. And today, Tuesday, we have Laughed Limitless. It's a part of our Fun O'Clock activity, and we are going to be joined by stand-up comedian Yash Rathi. So make sure that you are there on the floor when the activity kicks off at 4 p.m. For now, it's time for a quick music break. We'll be back, and when we'll be back, we'll be joined by Mr. Ankit Khanna, Chief Product Officer. Don't go anywhere. Up next, we have a performance by Amandeep Singh, Deputy Manager, Finance and Accounts, and he's based out of Gurgaon. So, over to him.
कुत्ती मोहब्बत ने अंगड़ाई ली दिल का सौदा हुआ चांदनी रात में ओ तेरी नजरों ने कुछ ऐसा जादू किया लुट गए हम तो पहली मुलाकात में ओ आँखुट्ठी.
Hi, this is Adhiraj and you're listening to Go-MMT Radio. Head, set, go.
Leaders Speak on Go-MMT Radio.
Hello and welcome back to Go-MMT Radio. My name is Sonu, and today we're going to be in conversation with Ankit Khanna, Chief Product Officer, Strategic Initiative and New Business Leadership team. And he's of course based out of Gurgaon. Ankit, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Anu. Love to be a part of this show.
As I speak to you, I'm actually checking out your Twitter and then, just to see what are the things that interest you. But since we are talking to you on World Product Day, this is for everybody who is tuned in. What are the questions that one should ask themselves before they develop a product?
Yeah, there are many questions one should ask, but probably I would want every product guy to focus on first only three big questions. One, what problem statement are you solving? Mm-hmm. For whom you are solving, and how big is that segment or cohort for which that problem is solved? Mm-hmm. And what you will gain out of it. And when you say what you'll gain out of it, it could be a metric, it could be a qualitative statement, it could be a delight, it could be anything.
Right.
I think once you're clear about these three things, and then probably you can go into other questions.
These days, I think customer feedback is very, very important. And it's a very new thing. Even when we go to a restaurant, along with the check, we always get a feedback form. So, tell me how important is customer feedback? And once you get it, what do you do to make sure that, okay, this is something that we can work on, or this is, how do you take them seriously? Or, I don't know if I'm putting my question right. It's just that, how important is customer feedback when it comes to product designing?
Oh, fair one. I think it's, so there are two kind of feedback. One, you take it from the consumer after the booking is done or the travel is completed in our sense, right? Mm-hmm. That's more transactional, and that's very specific to that person's experience with respect to the services that consumer has availed from us. So I think that's one way and then you figure it out, what went right, what went wrong, and then you incorporate that feedback to make the experience better. But that's very transactional.
Yeah.
From product perspective, what becomes very critical, and when you're building something, then are you able to incorporate a few things upfront before they go out in the market, right? So that when it goes out in the market, you have taken not just the view of your own individual team, which has worked on it, but also you get a first user, second user, multiple user feedback, even if you go for the full-fledged launch. And given the fact that we are in a digital business, we don't have any physical world where we can ask consumers upfront, or maybe we can observe, right, and see what consumer is doing when someone is sitting in a restaurant, someone is in a shopping mall, or when someone is in a shop. So it becomes very difficult for us.
Right.
Now to solve that, we typically do two things in our company. One is that when we are thinking about a new product launch, and we are very clear about business objectives, and we are very clear about that how we're going to operationalize, then we build some sort of a design and a prototype, and we go out to the consumer and ask that if this thing is built for you, right? What is going to be your first impression? How you are going to interact with the funnel? How you are going to do the transaction? And then there are two parts to it. One is you ask explicit questions, or second is you observe and see yourself what the consumer is doing, where is the consumer getting stuck, and you do something later to incorporate that feedback.
Yeah.
That's one way of doing it. The another view of the feedback is that you go very open-ended, right? Because at times you're not sure what problem you're trying to solve, but that exercise you do on more periodic basis, right? And then you get the feedback from maybe 50, 100 odd people. And then you define that feedback into some insights, and that insights translate into the problem statement. Problem statement further translates to the product input. I think we do these kind of things more as a product team,
right,
as compared to anything else. Yeah.
Right. It's time for a quick music break. But what I'm really interested after this discussion is that, sometimes the customer feedback is not very, it's not very objective. When they say best service or worst service or whatever that is, it becomes very difficult, right? So how do you work around that?
Yeah, and the in our word, the very basic feedback है यार आपका UI ना अच्छा नहीं है.
Yeah.
और या फिर बड़ा messy है.
Yeah, it's quite generic. Yes.
Generic. So I think the way to do is that you ask more leading questions to that person, and then try to help him or her to come up with some actionable points. Right. For example, if somebody says कि यार आपका UI ना अच्छा नहीं है. Right. So then you ask, that is, my entire thing is not good, or you are talking about a very specific area, or is it something which you don't like, right? And then you start asking those leading questions, and those leading questions will give you answers too. I think that's the best way to solve. That's why we conduct 1 hour length interviews with our consumers whenever we talk to them. It's not going to be like a 5-10 minutes conversation.
Right.
It's a pretty broad conversation.
Right. Ankit, do you feel that post-pandemic, the approach towards product designing has changed?
So I would say when the pandemic was going on, or you would say there were ups and downs, like sometimes things were open, sometimes things were not open. I think that time a product approach changed a bit. And now I think we believe that this is behind us, or maybe we have accepted the fact that it's going to stay and we have to live with it. I think nothing much has changed. So I'll talk about what changed for a brief period of about a few months. There are two things which changed. The first one was that we were trying to solve the immediate needs of the consumer. So for example, the immediate needs of the consumer is that how can I make sure from our side that this particular property, because I look after hotels product, is good from safety and hygiene perspective, or they're taking right protocols within the hotel or any property to make sure that the consumer is going to be in a safety net. I think that's what. The second example I can give is that not many people were flying in the last 2 years. People were going to any destination via car. So when you discover that the fact that people are now going to drive more as compared to flying, then the kind of selling you do is going to be more focused on drivable distances, right? That how do you focus more on properties where people can spend 2 to 4 days, have their own leisure time, spend time with family and come back, rather than they go out on a destination, do sightseeing and then come back. So your approach changes a bit.
Right.
I think those insights were driving some of the business and the product decisions. But now, given the fact that we are back in business and things are looking very sharp and things are looking upwards, I think maybe we are now focusing more on long-term bets. We are focusing mid to long-term and long-term, so that we are building the future. Earlier, we were building for solving the immediate needs of the consumer, so that we also grow and the consumer also gets what they want.
Ankit, now it's time for some fun. So I'm going to give you the names of these celebrities and you have to tell me what product should they endorse. Like, it completely fits in with the image that they have. So are you ready?
Yeah.
The rapid fire round.
All right. The first name is Virat Kohli.
Okay. So many thoughts are coming to my mind, but I think something which is very, very youth focused. So suppose I'll talk about a travel product, but something which is very adventurous. So a product which has either it talks about adventure gear, or even if we launch a new product category or business category for adventure travel, I think you can use that.
Right. The next celeb is Katrina Kaif.
Okay, I would want her to sort of endorse our luxury segment of hotels.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Because she defines class in some way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We go a little international now. Rafael Nadal.
For Rafael, I think overall, let me think. Can I go out of GO-MMT or?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I think he would be a good for something, maybe a fitness brand, because he and maybe Cristiano Ronaldo are like few legends in the sports fraternity who stand for fitness, and that's why they have such a long run.
Absolutely. The next celebrity is Sanjeev Kapoor.
Though obviously first thought comes appliances, right? When you
yes.
Yeah, but I don't want to give it that because he anyway does it.
Yes.
His own brand. Yeah, but I think maybe he can be a good brand ambassador for any home furnishing brand.
Interesting,
right.
Very interesting. And the last celebrity is Madhuri Dixit.
Because Madhuri Dixit stands for, apart from whatever acting abilities and all, I think she defines charm in certain way. So I think she can be a good, and obviously she belongs to a certain age category, but she can be a good brand ambassador for our alternate accommodation category.
Nice.
Because that's more homely product.
Right.
Has a family feel, and she can be a good brand ambassador.
I think I'd like to agree with you here. Thank you so much, Ankit, for your time, and thank you so much for a little insight that you gave us on the products. It was great having you on the show. I wish you a great day ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sonu, and I had a great time too.
Thank you. And that's a wrap on today's show of GO-MMT. Do let us know आपको कैसा लगा हमारा आज का शो. आप हमें email कर सकते हैं headsetgo@go-mmt.com. With that, it's a wrap on today's episode. Until we meet next time, stay healthy, stay safe, and keep smiling. This is me, Sonu, signing off.
Hello everyone, this is Alia Bhatt and you're listening to GO-MMT Radio. Head, set, go.
To listen to your favorite GO-MMT radio from anywhere, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn and Instagram. Visit the GO-MMT radio page for daily updates and enjoy listening to your favorite radio channel.